Hey everybody, so as you know, Battlefront 2 just had an update where they changed the whole essence of lightsaber combat and more specifically the stamina usage associated with each hero and the stamina regen rate and the consumption and all of that. So let's go over my thoughts on it, on whether it's good or bad. And just to give you some context before you start watching the video and some of the more important clips, these are all going to be clips of different characters and basically me doing real-time battles to kind of display the difference in how the lightsaber combat actually is compared to what I normally play like and how it normally goes when I do a match. Also, this is a team that before the update I faced, and I actually messaged them and they agreed to help me get some more footage for this video. And keep in mind, this is a team that when I was playing them, my partner was like really bad and I was fighting them 1v2 and it was some pretty intense matches, but I would end up winning. I think it was like 9 out of 10 of those matches, and that was 1v2 with me as a lightsaber hero because of the ability to effectively defend, and with my skills with lightsaber heroes, it helped me win. So keeping all of that in mind, I'm going to start some of the important clips and break down exactly what changes. Just for those of you who might not know, I'm going to break down what changes they did with this update. So if you watch this video right here, you'll see some of the changes. I tried to highlight as many as I could. But basically, you'll see as I block, the stamina just gradually goes up, as well as it also goes up from any attacks that I take, lightsaber or blasters, anything like that. Also, if you notice, when Luke dodges while blocking, the stamina goes up, and that's because every time you put up your block, not just hold it, but every time you put up your block, it actually has a pretty big increase on your stamina right then and there. And you'll see that stamina increase again is a lot, especially because if you've ever played any hero matches, you're dodging around quite often. So that can lead to you literally running out of stamina super fast, as well as, I don't know what they expected you to do with this update, but like it's either like you can dodge or you can block, and that leaves you pretty freaking vulnerable. But that's basically what they've changed the stamina to in this. And again, each character has different stamina, and that's why I have the videos of each and every character kind of going through the motions. And as you'll see right there, actually, I wanted to point out there's another glitch. If you look at the clip when I just force repulse Boba Fett, he was still able to shoot while he was flying through the air, which is definitely not something that happened before this. And I just want to reiterate that bugs like these still happening are just a little bit ridiculous. I get it. I mean, I just don't understand how these are still slipping through. It's like every patch creates more bugs, and I know there's going to be bugs, but the problem I have with this is they update these bugs once a month, unlike most games where the fixes would come in as hot fixes, because these are pretty important bugs that Battlefront has. They're not stuff that should wait. These are important things that are kind of game breaking, because as you saw, if that didn't happen, I could have won that match. It's just like the B team of DICE is working on Battlefront right now, and the A team is on Battlefield 5, and it feels like that since The Last Jedi. But anyway, back to the lightsabers. My actual thoughts on this is that it's actually worse than Battlefront 1, and anyone who's been on this channel since then, they know Battlefront 1 was already on my dislike for the way they handled stamina, because this is vigorous training that these characters go through for mentally and physically for how many years, and all of a sudden they get tired just holding up a damn 5-pound stick. That's my problem with this, is that makes no sense. The overtime part makes no sense, and then they added the part where literally just putting it up without blocking anything adds a huge stamina increase to you, and that to me is even worse. It's worse than just holding it. What the hell? What's next? When they breathe, they use up stamina, like they get tired from just breathing normal air. Like that's pretty much how it feels to me. Is it's just semi-ridiculous from a lore standpoint. And then even when you talk about it from a game standpoint, if you just look at these clips and look at especially like Vader, which by the way, another glitch, if you look at that clip with Vader, when I force choke Han is literally still shooting me during the force choke. Still shooting me, still able to do everything. But if you look at those clips, anyone knows that when I'm Vader, I last forever. Anyone that's been on this channel or seen my gameplay knows that Vader is my number one, and I can last forever with him. But if you look, I'm getting pretty much my ass handed to me by the same team, who I literally would beat both of them and still come out of this battle with full health. And you know, it's not like lightsaber characters were OP at this point before. They weren't OP. Shooters were already kind of had the advantage against most lightsaber wielders in the first place. Not 1v1 per se, but I mean, for the most part, a shooter could definitely rack up more points than a lightsaber character does, just because a lightsaber character has to play defensively to be effective. And you know, a shooter really doesn't. They can shoot from range, and it's just a lot easier for them to rack up points at range without really putting themselves at risk. A lightsaber wielder had to block, they had to play very defensively, and I felt like it was already pretty balanced before because of that aspect. I mean, once you close your distance on a shooter, you got rewarded with the fact that you played defensively enough to actually close the distance to them. And now it just feels like you can't even do that anymore. You can't play defensively. It's like they're trying to force you in to just rush in, and now you're defenseless against someone like Han, who just puts up sharpshooter. And because your stamina just drains so fast now, all of a sudden, it's like you can't even do anything. You can't, in the middle of a fight, just put up your block when Han is shooting at you, because most likely your stamina is already gone, especially if there's multiple people. Because that's where this kind of comes into play, is that lightsaber characters like me as Vader, I could hold off 3 to 4 people playing defensively. I might not have killed them really fast, but it took a great amount of skill to hold off 3 to 4 people and still kill them. And I mean heroes when I say people, not just average troopers. And it took off a lot of skill for me that the average player couldn't do, to actually do that and still manage to beat all 4 heroes. And I would definitely come out of it hurt, if not dead. And now, basically, that situation is never going to happen again. A lightsaber wielder surrounded would not be able to manage their stamina. They'd be forced to dodge around until their stamina comes back, which you would get shot up by any skilled player. So basically, with the way this update works, is now any skilled player with a blaster is going to outperform any skilled player with a lightsaber. Before, it already felt balanced the way the lightsaber combat was. The only issue I had was, you know, you had to dodge around and dodge behind somebody, and that could lead to the infinite dodging thing where you try to keep getting behind each other if you were having 2 lightsaber people go at it. But definitely the way this has been handled is way worse, because your stamina drains way too fast to make it any type of balance. This is basically, in the end, a huge nerf to lightsaber characters. And that's a huge understatement, because it pretty much makes them ineffective in any scenario where they're not 1v1. That is ridiculous, because that's what lightsaber characters were good for, is being able to defend and hold off and maintain a defense against multiple people. That's what they excelled at. And now that is pretty much gone. So yeah, I'm pretty disappointed with this update. I mean, everyone's pretty much like, oh, you can turn your lightsaber off. Cool. But that's like, it pretty much has ruined lightsaber characters for me, because it's just now way just, I don't know, it's not feasible to really even expect to use a lightsaber character and to expect the same kind of performance as you had before the update. And like I said, lightsaber characters definitely didn't need a huge nerf. There's constant times where lightsaber characters are underperforming shooters even before the update. When you compare like similarly skilled players, it was already pretty balanced, and this just tipped the scales away from lightsaber wielders completely. So hopefully they make some changes to the way stamina works. I mean, I am happy that like Vader has a little bit more stamina than others and stuff like that, but it's just ridiculous the way some of the stamina works for some people, and how long it takes to regen for other characters, or how fast it goes. It just really makes it not feasible to put up your block in mid-battle, and that was really key, because blocking mid-battle is how you fight as a lightsaber wielder. You can't just expect to run in there all nilly-willy and go full-on aggressive, because that just didn't work. Like, defense should have a part in this game, especially with lightsaber wielders, and pretty much just feels like they wanted to take away that aspect of defense and wanted to make it a lot more offensive, to the point where it's too much. But that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, Hero Starfighter bored me to death. I tried it a couple times and I just could not do it for some reason. It's just a lot more fun with a lot more fighters around to dogfight. Let me know in the comments what you think about the lightsaber changes though, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.